Hey all, welcome to my very first video on 7 Days to Die. I'm the survival guy. I wanted to do a few videos on the first few days in-game in 7 days. Maybe take a look at some of my secrets, some things that work, maybe some things that don't work. 7 Days, if you may not know, is an extremely realistic zombie apocalypse survival game. The wiki describes it as set in an aftermath of a third world war. You are the survivor. You must find shelter, food, water, as well as scavenge for supplies, all the while avoiding mutant zombies that populate the landscape. The game is currently in early alpha, but I gotta say it's extremely stable. I've played it for in excess of 200 hours so far and have not had a single problem, and it's loads of fun. If you play Minecraft, you'll really enjoy this game. You're able to interact with everything. You can build anything you like, and you're destroying zombies all the while. So let's get started. I've adjusted the settings a little to where I like to play. Standard options, I prefer Nomad. This is more for the experienced first-person shooter. Under modded options, I also have drop on death, tool belt only, and enemy spawning medium. So, like most survival games, when you first start, you kind of have nothing. The game is generous enough to start you off with a few items. You get you hit I for inventory, you get a bottle of water, a can of chili, a bandage, torch. Trust me, you don't want to be out at night though. Pretty simple. E to pick up most any object you find on the ground. Loose rocks being one that you're going to want to pick up a lot of. In the early game, they're used for axes. They're used for arrowheads. You're going to use them to make a campfire, as I will show you here shortly. Right now, basically just want to punch some grass. And this allows you to then hold down the E key and pick that grass up. And it sounds like we have some company in the background. And then you want to look for something like this black little bush here. Punch it a couple times for a stick. Go to your inventory. If you right click, you can drop off a certain amount of numbers, so you want to sharpen a couple of stones. Take the grass, turn it into fibers. And then you click on the wrench, click under stone axe for the recipe, and we're going to put in all three because we're probably going to use them all as we survive this first day. And you just put it down in your tool belt, which is kind of your activity belt. Now you can see I'm holding the stone axe. So we're going to go ahead and start chopping a couple trees. All the while, you really want to keep an eye out. The game does have a random generation for spawning zombies. You may look around you and not see any, but you're going to want to stop, check behind you. There's one over there. I think he's going for a swim. And back to business. Basically, you're going to want to chop at least 10 trees. The first day is probably the most critical. You're really not going to be looking for food or water. You can use the starter food and water, but I highly recommend that you focus intensely on building materials for your first shelter. We did start off in a relatively good area. I like being near a water source, so we have that here with the river. I also have some materials that I like starting off with. One of those is this rich red color here, dirt. The game has this labeled as clay. If you get 9 pieces of this, you can turn it into bricks. I find the bricks are really good for my early game structures. They're not nearly as strong as some of the later game materials, like cement and metal, but I find it to be probably about as good as wood, if not a little better. I also like the look of it personally. I think it just looks nicer as a base for your structure. So we're just going to get a few more pieces. All the while I'm doing this, I'm just holding down the E key. If you have this key mapped, it basically just picks up anything that drops in the area of your character. And like I said, we're probably just gonna work with 8 or 9 pieces today. Once done, we're going to chop a few more trees, pick up a few more rocks, and then probably start looking for a suitable place to build. Now that I have a basic weapon, which your stone axe is going to be your early game weapon, I also have 9 pieces of clay. Basically, you just type in the recipe, you just type brick, and when it comes up, it'll show you where to place it. Once you've done this one time, it does it automatically for you after. And now we have 9 pieces of brick. So, we could take a minute to look around. This is a heavily wooded section of the map. Another heavily wooded section over there. And it looks like over here we have a destroyed or ravaged sort of area. Second thing that I like to do is I like to create a weapon a little more damaging than my stone axe. So take the grass, let that turn into a few plant fibers. And then take some of this wood. If you right click again, it'll split a stack in half. Turn that into wood planks. And while that's working, I'm going to go cut a few more trees. There is an in-game timer in the upper left-hand corner. It's day 1, 10 o'clock in the morning. It goes by, I don't know, about 40 minutes, I guess, is a full in-game day. Now, as you'll see off in the distance there was a pig running around. Where was he? Yeah, he's gone. That's alright. Get a few more rocks. And come back in here to check on our planks, which are done. And we need about 9 or 10 sticks. So we're going to turn planks into sticks. And then we also need, this is for our crossbow, so we're going to click on crossbow. Place the sticks where we need them. Place the plant fibers where we need them. Hit craft. And the last piece we need are feathers for arrows. So you'll find these mostly in trash piles like this one. Again, hitting your E key. I have a lot better luck finding larger quantities in the bird's nests, which will also give you eggs. We seem to have a zombie here coming in on us. I want to try to aim for the head on these guys. I want to search him. He doesn't have much. I hear somebody else coming in. And like I said, I turned up the spawn rate on this game, so we're probably going to have a lot of activity as we're trying to get settled. The early stone axe isn't a great weapon, but it's by no means a bad weapon. Alright, so we have a crossbow, bring that down to your slot. We're going to need a few more wood planks for arrows. can, you want to sharpen more stones for arrowheads. And remember, again, every time you see a rock, pick it up. I can't stress this enough. Every single recipe that requires a small stone, you're gonna find yourself wishing you had picked up a bunch of rocks. Alright, these guys are a bit of a pain in the butt, and I'd much rather take him out with a crossbow. Let's come over here. If you hold down the shift key, you do a little bit of sprinting. Alright, so now we have more. You just place them where you need them to craft. And I'm sure he's probably catching up on us. Yeah, there he is. We don't seem to have attracted anybody else's attention yet. Alright, so now we have 19 arrows. Switch to your crossbow. Hit R to ready an arrow. Right click to aim. Usually on those guys, a single shot to the head on Nomad setting is enough to drop them. And he has some animal fat, which we can't use this early in the game. You could collect it, but you are limited on inventory slots. I choose to get it a little later in game. Alright. Now, you saw me just shoot a rabbit. This is going to be our food for the night. The problem with picking up raw meat, though, is this early in the game, you're now going to start giving off a scent. So any zombies that are in the area, if they smell the raw meat, they're going to come after you. This poses a couple different challenges. You definitely want to keep a better eye on the area around you. And you also want to be mindful of the fact that, that you have that meat on you, which is probably going to attract them more frequently. The game does have some settings, so if you, for example, have the meat in your backpack, it smells, it has a less distance of smell than if you put it on your tool belt. So I try to keep most things in my backpack. Even once you cook it, it will also still give off a smell. But I think the game compensates for that by lessening the amount of smell. Alright, so back to a couple trees. Getting close to 12 o'clock in game, so we're definitely going to want to focus. Now that we have some food, we're going to want to focus a little more on the shelter. And again, the game is, oh, that we have a surprise guest. Appear to have more than one. Alright, so cleared the immediate area of those guys. Now, this looks like a really good location. When I'm starting a base, I like elevation. It's just something I look for. It gives you really nice sight lines to all around. Makes it easy for you to find your base early game when you're out and about scavenging, looking for resources, and you kind of get turned around and you're not sure where your base is. If you've got it up on a hill, especially a very distinct hill near a landmark such as the road you see in the background, it makes it a little easier to get back there. grabbing a couple more rocks. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and stop the video here while I go ahead and gather a few more trees for our base. You don't probably need to get too many trees, but this will give me a good stopping spot, and we'll come back, and in episode 2 we'll start building our structure. Alright, see you in a little bit.